The scene opens in the bustling jungle clearing. Colorful banners made of leaves and vines hang between the trees, and a large sign reads "The Great Jungle Bake Off" in bright, bold letters. Ellie the elephant stands in the middle of the clearing, her trunk swaying excitedly. She's wearing a bright apron with a large, smiling cupcake printed on the front. Her eyes are wide with anticipation as she watches her fellow jungle creatures gather. Next to Ellie stands the bake-off judge, Mr. Munch the monkey, who claps his hands and announces the competition. Whoever bakes the most delicious jungle cake will win the golden coconut trophy. Ellie's friends Benny the bear, Tallulah the toucan, and Zane the zebra are all there, wearing their own colorful aprons. They wave at Ellie with playful smiles, ready to compete. The jungle kitchen is set up with tables overflowing with fresh ingredients from the jungle: coconuts, bananas, mangoes, berries, and even honey collected by the jungle bees. Ellie picks up a coconut and examines it thoughtfully, while Benny grabs an entire jar of honey, grinning mischievously. Zane, meanwhile, is balancing bananas on his head, trying to be funny. Tallulah the toucan flies over, looking at some vibrant jungle berries. These will add the perfect pop of color, she squawks excitedly. As Ellie picks out her ingredients: coconut milk, bananas, and jungle berries, she accidentally knocks over a pile of flour with her trunk. The cloud of flour bursts into the air, making all the animals laugh, including Ellie, who giggles through the white powder. With flour still hanging in the air, Benny the bear can't resist and playfully flicks a little more flour towards Zane, who dodges and laughs. "Oh, it's on!" Zane shouts, tossing flour right back at Benny. Soon, the whole kitchen erupts into a full-on flour fight. Ellie tries to stay out of it, but with her big ears and trunk, she's an easy target. Flour sticks to her gray skin, turning her almost completely white. Tallulah flies overhead, dropping little flour bombs from her beak, making everyone laugh even harder. The jungle clearing is now filled with laughter and clouds of flour. Ellie, with a determined smile, waves her trunk and clears the air. "Okay, back to baking," she announces with a laugh, as the animals agree and return to their stations. Ellie focuses on mixing her ingredients together. She carefully pours coconut milk into a large bowl, adding mashed bananas and jungle berries. Her trunk acts as a whisk, swirling everything together in a big, wooden bowl. Benny is nearby, stirring his batter with a giant honey-covered spoon, while Zane tries to crack an egg, but accidentally drops it onto the table instead of the bowl. Tallulah flutters over to taste her berry filling, nodding with satisfaction. "This will be the best jungle cake ever," she squawks confidently. Ellie smiles to herself, feeling proud of her progress. She looks at the smooth, creamy batter and carefully adds a dash of jungle spices for flavor. As Ellie and her friends move to bake their cakes, they realize the jungle oven made of stones and heated by the sun has a problem. The firewood is too damp to light, and the oven refuses to heat up. "Oh no! How will we bake our cakes now?" Ellie exclaims, her trunk drooping in worry. Benny tries to blow on the firewood with his big bare lungs, but it only results in a puff of smoke and no fire. Zane tries to fan the oven with a palm leaf, but nothing works. Ellie's ears perk up as she has an idea. She uses her trunk to suck in air and blows a strong, steady stream, drawing out the firewood. The flames roar to life, and the jungle oven begins to heat up. The other animals cheer. With the oven hot, Ellie carefully places her cake batter into a round jungle leaf-lined baking tin. She watches as her cake begins to rise inside the glowing oven. Benny is busy keeping an eye on his honey cake, while Zane is nervously pacing back and forth, unsure if his banana-filled creation will bake evenly. Tallulah, perched near the top of the oven, peers inside with her beady eyes. "Looking good, Ellie," she calls out cheerfully, flapping her colorful wings. The sweet smells of baking fill the air, making all the animals in the jungle clearing smile with excitement as they wait to see the results. Just as the cakes are finishing, There's a loud rumble, and suddenly the ground shakes. The jungle oven wobbles, and the cakes inside jostle dangerously. Ellie watches in horror as her perfectly round cake leans to one side and tumbles out of the tin, splattering on the oven floor. Benny's honey cake tips over, and Zane's banana cake cracks down the middle. "Oh no, my cake!" Ellie gasps, rushing to rescue the pieces. Benny looks disappointed, and Zane's face falls as he sees the mess. Tallulah flutters down, eyeing her cake with a smirk. "Mine's still perfect," she brags, but then the oven shakes again, and her cake slides off the rack with a plop, making everyone burst out laughing. Despite the cake disaster, Ellie refuses to give up. "We can still save this," she declares confidently, gathering the broken pieces of her cake and thinking fast. She suggests they turn the mess into a new kind of dessert, a jungle trifle. "We can layer the cake pieces with fruit and cream," Ellie explains, her trunk already grabbing a bowl. Benny's eyes light up as he gathers his honey-drenched cake pieces, while Zane follows suit with his banana cake chunks. Tallulah, after a moment's hesitation, joins in as well, adding her berry filling. The animals work together, carefully layering their cakes into tall, clear jungle leaf bowls. The broken cakes now look delicious and artistic, with colorful layers of fruit, cream, and cake. Ellie finishes her trifle by adding a swirl of whipped coconut cream on top, garnishing it with extra jungle berries and a drizzle of honey. It looks even better than before. Benny adds crunchy nuts to his honey cake trifle, while Zane sprinkles banana chips on top of his. Tallulah flutters down, adding a few edible flowers as a finishing touch. The animals step back to admire their work, their tails and wings wagging with excitement. "These look even better than the original cakes," Ellie says proudly, her trunk waving in delight. Mr. Munch the monkey hops over, rubbing his paws together in anticipation. "These trifles look scrumptious," he exclaims, ready to begin the taste test. Mr. Munch takes a spoonful of Ellie's coconut and berry trifle, his eyes widening with delight as the flavors burst in his mouth. "Delicious," he declares with a satisfied grin. He moves on to Benny's honey and nut trifle, nodding approvingly as the sweetness of the honey blends with the crunchy nuts. "Fantastic," he says, licking his lips. Zane's banana trifle is next, and Mr. Munch chuckles at the fun banana chip topping. "Yummy," he proclaims, clapping his hands in excitement. Tallulah's berry trifle also receives high praise for its vibrant flavors and beautiful presentation. "What a showstopper," Mr. Munch says, impressed by all the creations. After much deliberation, Mr. Munch gathers the animals together. "This has been the most fun and the messiest bake-off we've ever had," he says with a chuckle, wiping flour from his fur. The animals gather around, holding their breath as he prepares to announce the winner. But the one who showed the most creativity and teamwork is... He pauses dramatically. "Ellie the elephant," Mr. Munch declares, holding up the golden coconut trophy. Ellie's eyes widen in surprise and joy. Her friends cheer loudly, clapping and stomping in celebration. Ellie steps forward, beaming with pride as she accepts the shiny trophy. "Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without everyone's help," she says, looking around at her smiling friends. As the celebration begins, the animals gather around to sample each other's trifles, laughing and sharing stories of the chaotic bake-off. Ellie takes a bite of her own creation, smiling as the flavors dance on her tongue. "Not bad for a messy start," she jokes, winking at Benny and Zane. Zane grins, still dusted with flour. "Next time, we'll bake without the flour fight. Maybe," he says with a playful smirk. Benny chuckles, rubbing his belly. "I think we should have a bake-off every week," he exclaims, making everyone laugh. Tallulah, who had been quietly observing the fun, flutters down and flicks a little leftover flour onto Ellie's trunk. "You may have one, but you're not getting away from the flour fight that easily," she teases. Ellie giggles, playfully flicking flour back at Tallulah. Soon, the flour fight resumes, but this time with everyone laughing and throwing flour in good spirits. Mr. Munch joins in, rolling around in the flour and laughing uncontrollably. "I've never had so much fun at a bake-off," he howls, tossing flour into the air like confetti. Ellie and her friends collapse into giggles, their bellies full of cake and their hearts full of joy, knowing that they've all had an unforgettable adventure. As the day winds down, Ellie and her friends begin cleaning up the jungle kitchen. Benny sweeps the flour-covered ground with a giant palm leaf, while Zane collects the leftover ingredients and puts them away. Ellie uses her trunk to spray water over the flurry mess, creating bubbles and foam as she and her friends laugh and splash around. Tallulah flutters overhead, using her wings to dry the area after the cleanup. "Who knew cleaning could be so fun?" she says with a wink. By the time they're done, the jungle kitchen sparkles, ready for the next adventure. Ellie and her friends look around proudly at their clean workspace. As the sun sets over the jungle, Ellie sits with her friends by the fire, admiring the golden trophy shining in the warm glow. "Today was perfect," Ellie says softly, her trunk resting on her lap. "Not just because of the trophy, but because we had fun together." Benny nods, popping the last bite of his trifle into his mouth. "Agreed. Can't wait for our next adventure," he exclaims, licking his paws. The scene ends with Ellie, Tallulah, Zane, and Benny sitting happily by the fire, their laughter echoing through the jungle as they dream of their next big adventure. Teamwork and creativity can turn any challenge into a fun and successful experience. It's not about winning, but about working together, enjoying the process, and making the best of every situation. Thanks for watching, kids. If you enjoyed the adventure, make sure to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and click the bell icon to never miss a new story. See you next time.